Hey 343, I'm going to say it flat out. Halo Infinite is an unfinished game. I'm enjoying it, really enjoying the single player campaign, but I haven't touched the multiplayer. It feels unpolished, unfinished, and you released an unfinished product, and everyone has a right to be annoyed. Anyway, let's get into the news. Skip it up and that up. So if you remember, Halo Infinite was supposed to launch with the Xbox Series X, but then they showed gameplay over the summer of 2020, and I actually thought from a gameplay perspective it looked fine. I said that back in the day too, and if the whole product was released and finished and polished and it had that level of graphical fidelity back in 2020, but they released a fully polished, finished game looking the way it did in 2020, I would have been okay with it. I would have rather have had the game look like that, a step back with visuals and graphics, if the full game could have been released. I am all about gameplay over visuals, and to be honest with you, it is an improvement, but Halo Infinite isn't a graphical showstopper anyway. And that's fine. I don't care. I'm having a lot of fun with this open world single player campaign. I'm enjoying the crap out of it. But the game still remains unfinished. It's still missing key features, and people, yes, understandably, are losing their patience. And in a Halo Waypoint update about the game, which they release weekly, it sounded condescending. Now, you could say that people may have looked at this and they're being overly sensitive, but I just think people are losing their patience, so them being annoyed is justifiable. But anyway, this comes from gamingintel.com. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. In comments later branded condescending, the developers broached a range of issues that they are currently working on, including a fix for the seemingly unfixable big team battles, long-awaited in-game store updates, and issues with the cosmetics in Cyber Showdown. And keep in mind, when Halo Infinite first launched, it didn't have a Team Slayer mode. Like, one of the foundations of Halo multiplayer did not have Team Slayer. Anyway, let's continue. So what did Halo Infinite devs say to upset fans? Besides grumblings about how long problems are taking to fix, players found particular issue with the way the devs talked about fixing the issues with Neon Screen and Neon Hawk cosmetics. Now, I'm going to show you these here. Look at these still images that Gaming Intel included. Do those look like those were cosmetics that were ready for prime time? No, they're off-center. They're lopsided. It looks like a project that a college student put together if they're trying to get into graphic design. It's absolutely ridiculous. Well, 343 responded to people noticing that the cosmetics were screwed up with a somewhat sarcastic tone. And usually I'm kind of the one that defends the devs when they do things because I think people overanalyze, but I could see why people are annoyed at this. Let me read it to you. There's also going to be a link to the actual Waypoint announcement too, so if you want to check that out. Eagle-eyed players noticed these two armor effects weren't absolutely perfectly aligned with their Spartans helmets, spurring some lighthearted memes. Don't worry, though. We've busted out our levels and protractors, and we'll get these centered when Season 2 rolls around. Keep in mind, Season 2 for Halo Infinite isn't coming around until about May. So even basic things like cosmetics being crooked, you're not getting a fix for them until May. Do they really think that this is going to be sustainable for Halo multiplayer if they can't fix basic things like that in a reasonable amount of time? But anyway, here are some comments that people had on Reddit about this. Man, I don't know who wouldn't notice it. How disengaged do you have to be to not notice that lopsided mess, wrote one player on the Halo Infinite subreddit. Yeah, that whole paragraph came off as condescending and dismissive, replied another. Others roasted the developers for the length of time it would take to fix. Season 2 isn't expected, like I said, until early May. And here is another comment from Reddit that really kind of just brings it all home. That was my biggest takeaway as well. I'm no expert on this subject, but I thought a live service model game would allow changes to occur quickly. If it takes 3 months to change how a cosmetic is aligned, that is a major red flag, and they're 210% right. If you can't fix something like that, like basic like that in a look, I'm not even tomorrow, but if you could fix it maybe in a couple weeks, fine. But basic things like cosmetics not looking crappy is going to take you 3 months to do. There's no way. There's no way this can last. How are the desync and other issues going to be resolved when it takes 3 months to tilt a visor? Maybe I'm overreacting, but I'm not optimistic at all about the future of this game. I enjoy the game, but I don't expect the game to improve much at all. And that's the thing. I'm really enjoying the multiplayer, but which is strange because usually it's the opposite with me. I usually really enjoy Halo's multiplayer, and the single player is what I kind of ignore, but now it's the other way around. And part of it is because I like Team Slayer. I'm an old man. I like my stuff basic, but it just, the flow of the matches and getting into matches, it needs work. It needs work. This is what happens when you release an unfinished product. Now, again, I have to reiterate this because it's not that I'm being entitled. I would have rather have had this game wait until everything was completed. All the multiplayer modes were completed. All the co-op campaign was completed, until everything was put together. Let the devs take their time. Let them work a 9 to 5. Let them go home to their families and let them be happy so we get a better product and they're not as stressed and their physical and mental health isn't ruined trying to get a game out. But I understand Microsoft really, really, really wanted something for the holiday season, but an unfinished product is an unfinished product. And look what's happening now, 343 and Microsoft. The reputation of Halo Infinite, which sucks because it still is a damn good game, is being marred. It's being sullied. And understandably so, because there's a lot of multiplayer competition out there. It's not 2007 anymore, and this isn't Halo 3 when Halo was the top dog when it came to everything, when it came to first-person shooters on a console. Times have changed, and there's a lot of people complaining. I could give a crap about it personally. I don't like Battle Royale games, but there's a lot of people that want to see a Battle Royale mode. So between you being out of touch with the community, taking forever to fix issues, and you're not competing with your competitors by having the same features, unfortunately, and it sucks because I really love this game, there's a good chance that Halo Infinite, maybe even a year from now, might be dead in the water. I hope I'm wrong, though, because it is an awesome game. It just needs a lot of polish and a lot of work, and it needs to be finished. This is Rich at Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.